Welcome to Ray-ality TV. I'm Raymond Bakari. This video is a little bit different than my traditional question and answer style interviews with elected officials and candidates seeking office in the state of Rhode Island. I am at the Renegade Wrestling Alliance's RWA Legacy 14 Doing the Thing show here at the Mount Pleasant Avenue Little League baseball field. There's a jam-packed card tonight. I love wrestling. You may know that from part of my interviews with State Representative David Morales. He's also the on-screen commissioner here at RWA, and I got to talking with him. We talk about wrestling from time to time, and he said, Ray, you should come to one of our shows and interview some of the wrestlers, and I thought that'd be a perfect idea. So I have compiled some of the interviews with some of the wrestlers in some of the big matches tonight. If you enjoy this kind of content, please leave a comment down below, click the like button, subscribe. If you're new, please do all that. If you enjoy this content, I'll do more of it, because I do have interests outside of politics. Big wrestling fan. I hope you enjoy the content. Steven, how are you today?
Oh, yeah, baby. It's Legacy Day, and I'm pumped.
And I just have a few questions, some, based on what's going on tonight, and some, like what inspired you to be a wrestler and things like that. So my first question, it's more of a general one. What inspired you to become a pro wrestler?
Watching old WWF at the time and WCW cruiserweights. When the light heavyweight division invaded the WWF, it was super, super cool to me, and it just drew me in. And then eventually see the big giants, the larger than life characters, just a sense of entertainment in a spectacular fashion.
And you've wrestled for quite a few promotions here in the Northeast. I believe NCW is one of them, RWA. Correct. There's a few other on that list. How'd you first get involved with the Renegade Wrestling Alliance?
I was actually wrestled for a promotion called Whaling City Wrestling in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, and that's where I met just a litany of people that I call brothers and sisters now in the wrestling world, and they introduced me to the RWA, and I met T and I met everybody here, and they just gave me a shot, and then once they saw what I could offer them, we entered a partnership that became a friendship.
You won the RWA Triple Crown title not too long ago. What was that feeling like to become RWA Triple Crown champ?
It was great because at the time I was also the RWA Hype Champion, and we combined the RWA Triple Crown Championship and the Hype Championship to be right here, which is the RWA Championship.
And this is kind of outside of RWA. As a big wrestling fan myself, I often hear those misconceptions from non-wrestling fans like, oh, it's fake. They'll think it's not as dangerous as it actually is. What they don't realize is the match results, although those are predetermined, you can get seriously hurt if one move goes wrong. How do you feel when you hear those kind of misconceptions?
Ignorance is bliss, and people just don't know. And until they actually do it, until they actually experience it, or are involved or around it, they don't understand. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of timing, a lot of strength, a lot of patience, and a lot of training as well. And anybody who is inspired to become a pro wrestler, please go out there, find yourself a credible school, and get the training.
You do have a title match tonight with, I believe, Chris Pyro?
Scheduled to wrestle Chris Byro, correct? Sometimes things happen, and you never know what happens in the wrestling world.
Well, last I checked on Facebook, he is scheduled to return tonight and challenge you for the title. What are your thoughts heading to the match? Are there any nerves? Are you confident that you'll retain?
I've known Chris Pyro for many, many years now. He's a hell of a competitor, but I think tonight I'm going to be on my game, and I'm going to walk away with the RWA Championship.
I just have 3 quick rapid-fire questions that I'm asking every wrestler here as a little icebreaker. What's your favorite wrestling match of all time? My
favorite wrestling match of all time? The fan in me wants to say Rock Hogan from WrestleMania 18, I believe.
Good choice.
It is a good choice. But also, Steamboat, Macho, WrestleMania 3. Hogan Andre, also really big. There's so many you can't. It's like picking your favorite kid. You can't, right?
Right, yeah. A lot of those matches you listed are classics, especially those 2 Mania 3 matches. That show itself was iconic. If you could pick at least one wrestler, past or present, that you would like to work with, who would it be?
John Cena.
Imagine if we could have John Cena at RWA. You never know. He's technically not... I don't think he's wrestling right now, but you never know. My final question takes a step away from wrestling. Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, video games is actually a hobby of mine. I play a little bit. I enjoy a lot of the older consoles like Sega and Game Gear and Super Nintendo.
Nice. Have you played any of the current stuff? Do you have a PS5? Or
I have an Xbox One, and I have played a lot of the Star Wars games. Those are pretty cool to me as well.
Nice. I had to try those out. I played some of the Star Wars Lego games. I haven't played the Star Wars games myself. I definitely have to check those out.
Absolutely. Force Unleashed 1 and 2 and The Fallen Order.
Thank you for the recommendation, Steve. I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, guys. Oh, yeah, RWA Legacy. Come out to 536 Mount Pleasant Street.
I'm with Nick Marchand.
Stop. Mr. Marchand, to you.
Mr. Marchand. Well, Mr. Marchand, I have a general question to start off with. What inspired you to become a pro wrestler?
Seemed fun. Seemed I can handle it. I'm a pretty big guy, pretty in shape. And that's really it, man. Just something to do. Honestly, it's just something to do. And I've always, was into wrestling as a kid. I watched a couple, WCW, and I've always kind of been into wrestling. So when I got the opportunity to do it, I just kind of ran with it. And here I am, 11 years later, still doing it. Something to do. I'm always, athletic guy, so,
There you go. Perfect place to be for that. How'd you first get involved with Renegade Wrestling Alliance?
So the first time was actually, we're not in the best of terms right now, but with Mike Graca, he's the one who really broke me into wrestling. Me and him went to high school, a little history lesson. Me and him went to high school together, played football, and when he found out that he was becoming a professional wrestler, again, it was something to do. I'm like, let me try it out. And again, here I am, 11 years. So if I do got to thank somebody for getting me into professional wrestling, it had to be the mind race of Mike Graca.
Nice. How long have you been with RWA?
I've been with the RWA for 2011. I've been in RWA. So about 10, 11 years now I've been with them.
Sweet. And did Mike train you as well?
Mike Graca? No, we trained together. So he's done a little longer than me, but I've kind of broke in with all of that and stuff. I trained with a couple guys, throughout my career, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
Nice. This one, it's kind of a little bit outside of RWA. This is one thing that gets me annoyed as a fan that I hear from non-wrestling fans, and I've been asking every other wrestler this. Sometimes you hear those common misconceptions like, oh, it's fake, it's not as dangerous, it's predetermined. What some people may not realize is one slip-up could result in something serious happening. How do you feel when you hear those kinds of misconceptions?
It's true, man. People always say it's fake and all that stuff, and yeah, to an extent, I guess you want to say it's fake. But when someone tells me it's fake, I kind of stop them there, because it's the stuff that we do can be considered as fake, but we're in there like risking our lives every single time we step in those ropes in this weird circle. We're risking our lives. We're risking everything we have. One bad slip up, like you said, could involve in death. I mean, it's happened. And, so when we're in there, we have to trust, not ourselves, but we have to trust the people we're working with, because, again, one wrong slip up, that could be a ladder of, paralyzed, death, and everything. So it's one of the things that definitely hits home. So when someone tells me wrestling's fake, I kind of have to stop them there and be like, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I can get it from outside perspective, but it's not. Like, why don't you go take a bump? Let me power slam you now. Let me see how fake it is, and use your louder stances. Nah, chill. Like, all right, then relax. It's not fake, because if I body slam right now, it's gonna hurt. So that's usually my response to that,
Definitely hurts. I remember watching episodes of Tough Enough as a kid for the first time. He would I think there was one where Triple H would say, "Take a bump," and
he's like, "Hey, yeah, you left nuts falling out your shorts."
That's an iconic moment.
That's my favorite line.
I think that was
right
the first season.
It might have been. Hey,
yeah,
left nut. Yeah, love it. Love that.
I noticed that you're an anime fan. I haven't watched anime before. What animes would you recommend to someone who hasn't watched them before?
So my favorite anime, it's Pokemon. I don't know if everyone noticed, but I do have a whole Pokemon sleeve and stuff like that, if you want to consider that anime. I know some people do, some people don't. But my favorite one currently right now is probably My Hero Academia. It's amazing. I can't really talk that much show about it. It's just amazing. Everything about the animations, the character development, it's really good. So, I'm just got into anime. So if anybody out there will recommend some really cool animes to me, that would be really good, because, I just got into it. So, but My Hero Academia is definitely probably the one that I would recommend the most.
I'll definitely have to check it out. Do you read any mangas, or is it just watching it so far?
I'm not into huge mangas. I probably should read more than I probably should, because, I'm probably better with words. It's a little inside joke for a lot of people. Not really, big with big words right now. But I do have a couple Pokemon mangas, right? Mangas, what do you call it? Manga.
It's like for those watching, it's like a comic book version of the anime.
Right, so I do have a couple Pokemon mangas, whatever you want to call it. But I haven't really read them. They're like sentimental pieces to me.
Focusing on what's going on at RWA tonight, you are on Team Morales. For the Team Morales versus Team Riot match. It will determine Kellen Thomas's future with the promotion. Why are you on Team Morales?
Honestly, I'm kind of looking out for myself at this point. I've always been that way. I've always been the showman Nick Marchand first. Always will be. he plays a tough bargain. You know, he promised me a couple things. You know, if we get the job done, well, not if, when we get the job done, you know, might be little things coming my way. And, you know, you probably heard from either Isana or someone else that, you know, the pay is pretty good. So I couldn't really turn down. Again, I have to look out for myself. You feel me? I have to look out for myself. I've always been that way. I'm not really big of a team player. I've done that in the past. I'm all set. I'll never be a team player again. But tonight, I can make an exception just because of the things I was promised. And again, the money, very, very, very good.
And I did ask Isana this. I don't know if the answer will be the same. Are you able to disclose what that price was?
No.
Fair enough. Are there any concerns about who may be on Team Riot tonight? It seems like it's a mystery right now.
Not really. Don't care. Again, I'm better than everybody here. So whoever does step in the ring with us, you know, I'm pretty confident that, you know, if not, I can do it, which I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive, 100% actually, that I can beat whoever steps in the ring with, you know, us. But honestly, not really. I may have a couple guesses because, you know, he might, you know, Kellen Thomas, the man he is, always has a trick up his sleeve. So I can only imagine what he might bring out. But with that being said, no concern. I think we'll be all right.
I have just some quick icebreaker questions as like a little rapid fire to end off the interview.
Sure.
What's your favorite match of all time?
Ooh, my favorite match. Okay, so little thing. I'm not the biggest of wrestling fan. You know, I don't really watch a lot of wrestling. I just like wrestling. But I would say that my favorite match of all time, probably Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. I think it was WrestleMania 25. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. That's probably my favorite match of all time. Love it.
It's an iconic one. They also had that sequel at Mania 26 that determined the end of Shawn Michaels' career.
No, maybe that was the one then.
Yeah. Both of them were bangers. So both of them.
One of them. But that was the end of Shawn Michaels' career. That was one of them. Like I said, I don't watch it, so I don't know the exact details. But the one that Shawn Michaels ended career, that one, that was 26. My favorite. Yes,
Either way, both are still 5-star matches in my
definitely.
books. And my final question, it's a bit different than what I ask majority of wrestlers. I actually ask most of the politicians this when I have them on my interview show. So you are from Providence, correct?
Rhode Island. Johnston, Rhode Island, yeah.
Okay. I'm curious to know, in your opinion, what do you think Rhode
I
Island...
live in Colorado now.
Oh, you live in Colorado.
He pays me really good money to come down here.
Oh, interesting. But have you spent time in Rhode Island enough to have an idea of what you think they're best known for?
Say that again? Do I know who's best known for?
Rhode Island. Do you have an opinion of what you think is best known for?
Iggy's. I love Iggy's. I love clam cakes. I love their chowder. Iggy's is probably my favorite part of Rhode Island so far. Haven't really traveled much about it, but, you know, I did grow up in Johnston, but I haven't really, you know, ventured out, you know, into much because, like I said, I am from Colorado. So, but Iggy's is probably my favorite part of it. I'm not gonna lie. I love seafood, so
nice
Iggy's, love it.
Nice place to be, especially during the summertime. They're doughboys.
That's what I've heard.
Just awesome. You got to try them if you have a chance.
That's what I've heard.
Mr. Marchand,
I'm gonna cut you off because I gotta run and get ready for my stuff later. So I will thank you for the time and see you around.
Thank you so much, Mr. Marchand. I am with the tag team Pump-o-licious. They're going to be wrestling tonight in the opener, the Battle Royal for the Jeremy Bell.
Answer the Bell Challenge.
Yep, Answer the Bell Challenge. Yep. Just have a quick question for a general.
Excuse me. Who authorized this interview?
I mean, they just.
It's all right. We actually.
He's okay.
Yeah, we took a vote on this one secretly, and you know we figured he was all right.
Yeah.
Democracy.
He looked all right.
You guys are okay.
We're gonna be okay.
Pump-o-licious gonna be taken care of?
Just get the beer cold. That's all.
He's trying to make us look better. It's
we're gonna
hard
put
to
you
make us
over.
look
Don't
better.
worry. We're gonna really tell him.
I've seen enough.
We're gonna make sure that everybody knows how good of a
Thanks,
tie
boss.
and how snazzy of a dresser you are.
He's always trying to make sure he takes care of us.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, he's a good manager.
He's a good manager.
How long have you been his clients?
Almost a year now. Yeah. Almost a year.
Almost a year. Yeah.
Coming up on that, yeah.
Nice. Do you like what he's doing so far with the company?
I mean look at what he's done so far. He's got the RWA here. I mean, clearly he feeds us well.
Oh, yeah.
Where you know he keeps us very well hydrated.
He put my kid through school.
Yeah, you know he helps us buy snacks. I mean, look, he's not the best dresser. If I've ever if I can understand anything, he doesn't wear stuff like this. But he's all right.
Sleeves.
You know, he's all right. As long as his checks keep on clearing, we'll be there for him.
That's exactly it.
Are you able to disclose how much those checks are?
That I don't know if that's part of my contract. He can't read.
I can't read, and to be honest, I can't count that high.
Yeah.
So I usually just give him the heading.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the one. He shows me what kind of pizza rolls he wants, and I sign off on them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like kind of like an accountant.
Correct. Yeah. That's
to balance the
I'm the
books.
brains and the exactly.
Nice. What inspired you both to become pro wrestlers?
For me, it was watching wrestling when I was a little kid. I'm a little bit older than Johnny is. I grew up watching the 80s and early 90s, so my favorite wrestler was the Ultimate Warrior. So in the Rockers, as far as the tag team. So being a little kid, every little kid looks at wrestlers like they're superheroes, right? So we all grew up watching comic books and Marvel and all that stuff. So this was just a way for me to be a modern superhero. I mean, I don't know about Dave though. Or Johnny,
Essentially,
sorry.
yeah. So essentially, when I got started, I actually met through a mutual friend of ours, Matt Godu, the Giant Puma, and he was a friend of my cousin's at the time. He brought me in when I was 16, 17, and in the beginning it was just me kind of getting beat up, and then I started beefing up, and I learned through years of the USWF, MAW, and eventually now RWA to pay my dues. I kind of just been grinding through that, and now I wrestle honestly just for my kids and my wife in the crowd. I try and go out there and I try and show them that this big idiot could do some pretty cool stuff.
We're both big family guys. I had my daughter when I was young. She's an adult now, and I now have a bunch of nephews. Johnny has a few kids of his own. So outside of the gimmicks in the ring, we really do. The biggest thing for us is to see like little kids' eyes light up when we walk by them. So it's pretty cool.
It's a rewarding part of the business, definitely. How did you both get first involved with RWA?
RWA, well, where we met each other was a company called USWF, which is one of the oldest companies in Rhode Island. They were big on public access in the early 90s. And by the time our era was around, we were renting a ring from RWA, actually. So we met all the guys. Some of the guys that were in RWA I've known since high school. Sean, Leiter, and Tom Billington, and a couple of those guys.
They actually trained me, essentially.
And push came to shove, me and John, I took some time off. Johnny had kept on wrestling over the years. He had an idea for us to become a tag team about, 2017? Yeah, so a while now. And we put offers out there. People started booking us, and RWA became our home. So, and we're happy to be here.
Exactly, couldn't agree more.
And sometimes as a wrestling fan myself, I get a little annoyed when I hear the common misconceptions from non-wrestling fans, such as, oh, it's fake, they're not actually hitting each other, yada, yada, yada. How do you feel when you hear those misconceptions?
I love it because I myself, I have 8 staples back here from a belt shot. You've had a couple of those. I know I have numerous injuries. Look, it's an athletic, you have to be athletic to be able to do this. Predetermined doesn't mean fake. Yeah. So just because it's a predetermined outcome, because it's a story-based sport, doesn't mean that there isn't sport involved in it. So the way I like to say it is, if you think that it's by any means fake or not real, come and try it out and hit the mat once and see how you feel.
Take a bump, as they say in Tough Enough.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Especially in a Rumble, you will see a lot of dues being paid. Essentially, like I said, when I started off, I was a kid. Yeah. Not much younger than you, and I just got thrown around, and a lot of my learning was by being either chopped, beaten down, exactly. And that's the only way you learn, honestly.
Yeah. You just got to get in there. You just got to get in there and do it. Exactly. And again, to anybody, I challenge anybody that will ever say fake or not real. Come on in. Let's do it.
Let's see how fake it is.
Let's see how fake it is.
Yeah, I mean, even movies. I mean, that's predetermined with the script, but they have stunt men and stunt women. They get hurt.
People still get hurt. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
The injuries are real. I do got to ask, with the battle royal that you're both in tonight, how will you be able to work as a team? Because it sounds like there can only be one winner.
That's true. Well, see, when you have 2 smaller minds like ours in bigger bodies, we're okay with sharing. I mean, look, we look almost identical, right? Yeah. I mean, we look very similar. We're clearly brothers. We're clearly very, very handsome, right? It's like looking in a mirror sometimes.
Get the beards going on.
Yeah, I mean, so the way I look at it is, what's his is mine. What's mine is mine. And there will be.
That makes sense.
There will be exactly. And there will be. We can be at one. The boss also. We talked about this to Morales, and Morales did say that he can sign an executive order for a co-champion.
Oh, interesting.
Exactly. So, just big straps to the belt. We're fine. That's all.
Yeah, one big strap with one plate.
Using the legislative experience to kind of add a little bit of an executive order. So basically, go to the last 2, and then whoever the best man wins, and then you'll just share the win.
We might even play rock paper scissors.
And just one steps over the top rope.
Yeah. Exactly. We might do a push-up competition. We've been known to do that. We might draw straws out there. You never know. You never know.
Beer drinking off. We're not picky.
Yeah, we might do a chug off. Have some people throw us a couple of 12-ounce curls. See what happens. Yeah, you never know.
I just got some quick rapid-fire questions I'm asking every wrestler here tonight. What's your favorite match of all time?
Of mine or in general?
In general, not like anyone that you've watched.
WrestleMania 25, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, best match of all time.
It's a banger. That's the second time I've heard that tonight.
Yeah. Honestly, mine's is relatively new. I would say Gargano and Ciampa. You could pick any one of the 3. That was the first time in years that I had felt something in a match watching live, and I was like, watching with my kids. They were both premature babies being home. I was watching them, one in each arm, and I was amazed. I could not believe at how good of a story they told. And that made me want to stick with wrestling after I took time away from when my wife was giving birth. And that's honestly probably one of the reasons why I'm still here now. It sounds crazy, but it is true. Yeah.
And it's exciting to see Triple H, mastermind behind all these great feuds and wrestlers and programs in NXT. And now he's running the main roster, so you never know what could happen.
Very exciting times.
It's very
exciting times to be a wrestling fan right now.
Oh, definitely.
There's always something going on between AEW, WWE, all the independents. There's a lot of the guys that come through New England and Rhode Island even are now in AEW and companies like that. So it's a good time to be a fan.
I wouldn't be surprised if anyone over here ended up in one of those companies in the next couple of years. Honestly, there's some guys back here that are ridiculously good. I mean, we're like you said, we're more the family guys. We're just doing this. We love just doing it.
But listen, if old Paul Levesque comes a knocking for some beefcake, I'm down. I'm down.
Could you imagine Paul Levesque coming to one of these shows? They do scouting.
He's from New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's true.
It can happen.
Exactly.
I thought it was Connecticut.
No,
from New Hampshire.
Originally, Paul Levesque, the real guy behind the scenes there, is he's from New Hampshire.
Yep. Got blood crawling on me, a little bit of outtake.
Is it Morales? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
One that I've been asking every performer here tonight, if you could pick one, I guess, into your tag team, or even individual wrestler that if you could work with, past or present, who would it be?
As a tag team, the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, they're one of the reasons, they are two people, or that tag team as a whole is one of the reasons why I do this today. So for me, I mean, it's not even a question. That or Legion of Doom.
Both iconic tag teams. Yeah. Imagine Legion of Doom. Both of you are big guys.
Just
that's a lot of beef. That's a lot of beef. I would say probably the Hardys back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Modern DIY, of course. Yeah. I feel like we could have some fun matches and think of how far we could throw them. That'd be insane.
Oh, side note too, if we're going modern, Butcher and Blade from AEW. I love those guys.
Very good.
Really good choice. Very underrated tag team. There's a lot of great tag teams. I especially love their work. And one of my final questions I like to ask the wrestlers to take a step away from the ring. Do you have any hobbies?
Outside of beer, yeah. No, I'm an avid concert goer. Outside of lifting weights, music is legitimately the thing that pumps my blood the most. I was at a concert last night. I'm at concerts pretty much weekly. Doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter how small, doesn't matter the genre of music. Music is 100% in my veins, and art in general. So I'm a big person when it comes to performing art or visual art. Like I come up with a lot of this, I help design a lot of these with a gentleman that helps us, Rick Fonseca. Yep. Gimmick by Design, give him a quick shout out. He makes all of our designs.
Ridiculous.
And yeah, for me, music. So,
nice.
For me, honestly, I'm pretty laid back. I go home. If I'm with the wife and kids, I'm happy. If I'm not busting my ass at work, I get out. What I want to do is just relax with the kids. Yeah, exactly. Watching wrestling with the kids, whether it's them with their little toys or watching some of my old matches and giving them talks about that. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty laid back. Just beer and relaxing.
That's the way to do it. I mean,
I'm 20. We lift weights and that's it, you know?
I'm 20, so I'm a little bit 1 year away from the beer.
Right there.
But I don't know. I'm straight edge. But
pro tip, you're better off.
Yeah, I'm straight edge.
Stick with those duels, man.
Thank you for that. Pump-o-licious. I accidentally said pump-o-licious. My apologies.
We are pump-o-licious.
Okay.
We're at the moment we're with Mr. Morales. We're paid hitmen essentially. We're hired guns, hired hitmen. So we're pump-o-vicious at the moment because we have a little bit of a mean streak to us. But depending on the day, we could be pump-o-licious, we could be pump-o-vicious. Either way, until you come up to us and try to shake our hand, you don't know which one you're going to get.
Money you want,
yeah, depends on how much money you have and beer.
Yeah. Everyone has a price. Yeah, definitely. I want to
persuade it.
I want to thank you both so much for giving me your time. I really appreciate this. I'm with Mike Graca, who is one half of the tag team New Gore Order. He's going to be doing double duty tonight. You're wrestling for the tag team titles in one of them in the Jeremy Bell Battle Royal?
Yes, I'll be in both, yeah.
How do you feel heading into the Battle Royal? Are you confident? It's a big prize. The winner gets the Jeremy Bell, where they can have, I believe it's a title match at any time of their choosing?
Yeah, anytime. Honestly, I tap into a different zone when I walk out of that curtain, and anything can happen. I mean, we're going to see Alessandro Russo, who's about 2'7" in the ring. Like, come on.
Is he really 2'7"?
Yeah, I measured him last week. He's 2'7", 2'6" and 3/8". I'll say 2'7". But I mean, anything can happen. Like I said, I'm gonna be tossing bodies. If I come out and I win, I win. If not, I still have another match to worry about later on.
And speaking of the other match, how confident do you feel that you're going to win the tag titles from the losers?
So, my partner got COVID so he won't be here tonight. But I'm pretty confident with the partner I chose to replace him. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident we're gonna win the titles tonight.
And if you win the titles, are you gonna defend them with Devin Blaze, or how would that work? I'm just curious.
I'm pretty sure Devin Blaze wouldn't mind forming a 3-man New Girl Order and using the Freebird rule and defending it as a trio. I think that'd be our next route if we were to win tonight.
There you go. That's the answer for that one, because the Fabulous Freebirds, iconic team, and they made that rule famous. They had 3 guys on their team. Two would defend, the other didn't. I'm curious, what's the origin of the New Girl Order? How did you come up with that tag team?
It actually started in a different organization back in, 2016. It consisted of me, pump-o-licious, and Josh Briggs. It was the 3 of us, and we ran an organization called RWA. For a couple of years, we wrestled pretty high-profile matches, and then I went away for a little while, and I had run into Devin Blaze, and we got to talking, and I brought up the idea of reigniting the New Girl Order, and we're all over the place now. We just won the Proving Ground Tag Team titles a couple weeks ago. Actually, no, it was last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're doing some big things, and we're collecting some more gold tonight.
And I remember watching your the first match I watched of you guys. It was a couple shows ago. It was one of the ones in Riverside. You guys got some great chemistry and great work in the ring, by the way. I really want to say you guys are awesome. I like your team. I do want to ask, what made you want to get into professional wrestling, speaking of origins?
I've actually been a fan my entire life. I popped out of the womb dropping an elbow on the doctor. Like, my whole family was into it, so it was I kind of grew right into it, and it's really all I ever cared about. I mean, that's sad to admit, but wrestling was everything to me for a very long time.
Wrestling's awesome. I'm a big wrestling fan myself, and one thing that gets me a little upset is when non-wrestling fans like to throw out it's fake, they're not actually getting hurt, and I've been asking every wrestler this tonight. How do you feel when you hear those misconceptions?
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Right.
I would say that it's predetermined. I wouldn't say that it's fake, because everything that we do in there is real.
Yeah.
Like, it's a performance art. If you don't look at, like, say, we'll throw Rambo First Blood out there. People getting really shot there? No. It's a performance art. I don't go say, that movie's fake. It is. but
and I'm glad you brought up the movie comparison, because one of the last wrestlers I had on before you brought that up too. We were talking about movies, and the stunt people still get hurt when you have those fight scenes, just like here. Although the matches are predetermined, what people don't realize is one slip up, somebody could get hurt really badly.
Yes.
The pain is real, is how I like to say.
Yes.
The outcome might not be, but the pain is. And I'm curious to know, because you mentioned you wrestled with another company before RWA. How'd you first get involved with RWA?
RWA is actually my home, where I first started. I started back in 2011. 17-year-old kid, just really looking for a place to start up, and they actually found me when I was backyard wrestling and told me to come train, so here I am now. 11
Nice.
years later.
There you go. Who ended up training you?
It started with a trainer that they had here, and then I trained with Jose Perez, and then I went to JT Dunn, and from there on I've been to a lot of different seminars as well, and I've wrestled all over I'd like to say that I wrestle all over the east side of the country right now. I've been to Canada, I've done around there, yeah.
How was it?
Oh, Canada's awesome. It was cool because I have family up there as well, so they were able to come see me wrestle for the first time, and Canada was a good experience.
Nice, yeah. Me personally, I've been in the northeast bubble, but you never know. Going outside of the country is always an option, and I'm glad to hear that Canada is a great place. If I'm going to pick outside of the country, Canada would definitely be one of them. Is it as cold as they say?
I went in the summertime and it wasn't cold at all. It was like this.
Oh, there you go. That's always an added bonus as a Rhode Islander. We deal with the cold, but we don't really like it.
Yeah.
I have quick icebreaker questions I'm asking every wrestler toward the end. What's your favorite match of all time?
Undertaker, Shawn, WrestleMania 25.
That's the third time I've heard it. It really is a 5-star match. I gotta ask, what do you think of the sequel after at 26?
I honestly was a fan of it. I didn't see anything wrong with the match. Yeah, they did it the year before, but I mean, I know sequels don't usually live up to the first one, but in my opinion, it got up to that level, so I'm a fan of the match.
Especially with the added stakes that Shawn Michaels' career was on the line, too. Another one I'm asking every wrestler tonight is, if you had a wrestler, well, you're also in a tag team, so it could either be a tag team or a singles, past or present that you could work with if you wanted to, who would it be?
Easiest answer in the world is The Undertaker. Hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, that's the first name that pops out of my mouth.
He is probably one of the best wrestlers, and sometimes he'll get overshadowed with Austin, Rock, Hogan, but Taker, reliable, believable,
Yes.
just gave you goosebumps as a
Best
kid.
character ever.
As a kid, when you heard that bell, the gong, goosebumps, literally. My final question takes a step out of the ring a little bit. Do you have any hobbies?
I like to draw and paint. I'm a pretty artistic person. Play video games every now and then. I like soccer. I like to play soccer.
Nice. You play FIFA, I'm assuming?
Oh yeah. Heavy into FIFA.
I gotta ask, so there's like a game mode with it's kind of like similar to NBA 2K's My Team. Are you into that? Do you just play the exhibition matches?
I'm not really big into Ultimate Team, but I like to go online and I'll play against people from all over, or I'll play in a team with a bunch of people online. And I'm, like I said, a creative person, so I'll go and I'll create a team, and I like doing the career mode a lot. So.
Yeah, the same thing with 2K too. They always have like a good like career mode and then team build. Do they have like a My League where you can like kind of like trade and like a GM mode?
Yeah.
I haven't played FIFA before. That's kind of
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, it's Ultimate Team. So it's like you can buy like card packs and you have those players, and then you can trade cards or buy cards from other players. It's basically the same concept.
Awesome. What console are you on?
I am on PS4.
PS4. There you go. You didn't get the PS5 yet?
No, I haven't. No.
It's tough to come by. Yeah, it's like on StockX right now, like $800, and that's not even guaranteed because it's like a bidding or whatever.
Yeah.
Mike, I want to thank you so much for your time.
you,
I really
man.
appreciate it. I am with Isana, who's going to be on Team Morales tonight. Commissioner, do I have permission to interview one of your teammates for tonight's match?
You have the utmost privilege and or pleasure to interview Isana, one of the key members of Team Morales, who is going to take out Team Kellen here tonight. You absolutely do.
Awesome. Thank
Please
you so
go
much,
ahead.
Commissioner. Nice cameo by the commissioner there. It's going to be a big match tonight. Just my first question, it's a general one. What made you want to become a pro wrestler?
Just watching real people do incredible feats really moved me when I first saw it, and I was like, you know what? I think I can do that, and I've done pretty damn good at it. So I started training, and I fell in love, and the rest, they say, is history.
That's awesome. Who would you say is your inspiration when it comes to pro wrestling?
I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of the Joshi wrestlers in Japan, Bull Nakano, Aja Kong, but also some of the American wrestlers like Beth Phoenix. Obviously, I'm not exactly dainty, so a lot of the strong, powerful women are what really moves me in wrestling.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ones too. Awesome Kong comes to mind as well.
Very
A
much so.
lot of the knockout division in the early 2000s with TNA, they were revolutionizing the sport for women's
absolutely.
wrestling. As a big wrestling fan myself, I often hear common misconceptions from those who aren't fans of the business. Sometimes they'll say, oh, it's fake, or they think it's not as dangerous as it actually is. Although the results are predetermined, what people don't realize is one slip-up could result in a serious injury. How do you feel when you hear those kind of misconceptions?
As someone that has already recovered from an ACL surgery, damaged shoulder, concussions, I haven't broken a bone yet, and hopefully tonight I won't start. But it's a full contact sport. What we do is part gymnastics, part MMA, and admittedly part theater. But there's no stopping the mat from hitting you when you fall on it. So it's definitely, when they say it's fake, I won't say I get angry, I get a little disappointed.
That's fair, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of a conversation too. And then once they understand, when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, he's really getting. But it takes time, and once you educate them, then they understand. And I mean, it's not for everybody, but I really appreciate that answer, and it's very true. Focusing on what's happening at the event tonight, you are on Team Morales tonight for the Team Morales versus Team Riot match that determines Kellen Thomas's future with the promotion. Why did you join Team Morales?
I could tell you that I wanted to do something bigger than myself. I could tell you that, Team Morales really moved me and touched me, and I felt that the cause was right. But I could also tell you that the money's good.
Money's good. Any disclosure on how much the money was?
I cannot comment on that.
Fair. Are there any concerns about who will be joining Kellen on Team Rye tonight? It seems like it's still a mystery.
I have a feeling there's going to be a couple. There's some people that I've already kept my eye out on. Possibly Coach Will, because he did team with Coach K, who is definitely not Kellen Thomas. But other than that, I'm really not worried about who else it's going to be, because I know that we have a strong team and we're cohesive and we're powerful, and I really don't care who he throws at us tonight. We're going to come out on top.
And confidence is key heading into a big match like this. I just have 3 quick rapid fire questions I'm asking every wrestler here toward the end as a little icebreaker. What's your favorite match of all time?
That's a great question. More recently, I would say probably Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. They have had a couple of really good matches, and honestly, I don't remember exactly which show it was. I want to say it was Mania.
36?
Yes. I have a terrible memory. I get hit in the head a lot. But it was incredible. It moved me. Bianca Belair is amazing. Sasha Banks is incredible. They're both very strong, powerful, and motivated women, and I respect the hell out of that. So
that's very true. I remember when Raw came to the I guess now formerly Dunk Center. I think they're changing it to Amica, but we're still going to call it the Dunk Center. That's a Rhode Islander thing. No, if you know, you know. But at the Dunk Center, Bianca Belair had faced Becky Lynch in a match. It was like a 20-some minute title match, and just the fanfare that Bianca Belair had, those people next to me in the audience losing their mind, and you just love to see it because they're both amazing performers. If you could pick at least one wrestler, past or present, to work with, who would it be? That you would want to work with. Sorry.
That I would want to work with, I would have to say Miami Toyota. Again, going back to the Joshi thing, she was incredible. And she's just hands down one of the best female wrestlers to ever exist, as far as I'm concerned. And I feel like we would have great chemistry. So,
does she still wrestle currently? I'm familiar with her work from the early 2000s in Japan.
I don't know if she's still wrestling. If she is, she's probably not wrestling all that much, because usually they in Japan they tend to fade out relatively. Their period is pretty short in Japan. So.
Yeah, some of her early matches, if for those watching, if you ever want to see her matches from 2000, 2001, I recommend it. Really, really good stuff. And I looked a little bit up on you on social media. You are from Rhode Island, correct?
I am.
This one I usually ask the politicians this on my interview show. In your opinion, what do you think Rhode Island is best known for?
I would think we're best known for our food and dropping our R's and then picking them up and putting them in strange places.
Definitely. You got words like Pak, Bubla, just all those words that end with R. That's a typical Rhode Island thing. Isana, I want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm with Tom Billington and Sean Leiter. Their tag team name is the Losers, and they are the RWA Tag Team Champs. I just have a general question to start off with. What inspired you both to become professional wrestlers?
Questions. Yeah,
the love for the sport, honestly. It's fun. It's theater.
I was never really good at any other sports.
It's combat theater.
Yeah. I got to hit people. It's a good time.
Yeah, how many professions can you find where you can kick somebody in the face and get paid to do it? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting profession, and very exciting too. Especially as a fan myself, I just love coming to shows and all that. I've started to go to indie shows. I've mainly been going to the big ones like WWE, so this is a whole new experience for me. I'm just curious to know, how did you both first get involved with RWA?
I have made day oneer. I helped T Phoenix pretty much name the place. I'm also their audio guy. I met T in some scummy backyard doing a bunch of stuff, and we got fed up with it and bought a ring, and we just I've been here since day one.
And then I showed up.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And messed everything
I'm kidding.
up.
He's like my best friend. I can talk all the schmoz about him I want.
Well, I gotta ask, how did you both become a tag team?
We did some
we were forced into it. I think it was just luck of the draw type stuff, and then we kind of just stuck with it.
Yeah, we had gotten stuck with each other a couple of times here and a couple of times there, and then
we realized
split
it worked.
off. Yeah, once we realized we had something and it clicked, we just
yeah. we
End
vibe.
of the grind. Yeah.
We gel so well.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the origin of your tag name?
All right. So this actually started because we used to be under a different name before. We used to call ourselves the Epidemic, and when we decided that we were going to team again, this was going to be something very different. We were going to be ourselves.
We didn't want to have a character like thrown at us. Like I didn't want to be some smudgy crazy guy. I just wanted to be me. To have some
We
fun.
just wanted to be ourselves, and the way that people view us sometimes is in the indie wrestling scene. We're kind of like the losers. People don't necessarily think we're the best. We don't think we're the best. We just do our best.
Yeah.
And all right, so anybody that's like grown up through high school and got picked on, pushed, bullied, like those kids that get called losers that aren't. They're just being told that by people who don't know any better or don't take the time to know any better. So we wanted to take something that was normally viewed as something negative and give somebody something positive to run with. So that's why we call ourselves the losers, because it's something that people can identify with, and then we can make them feel good about that in the process.
Very, very deep meaning. I really like that. I really like that
vibe. Like, I don't want bad vibes. I want good vibes from good people all the time. And I think there's a lot of people around there that can relate to that. So we're the losers because, you know what? It's kind of cool to be a loser.
I like that. That's a really cool origin of the name. Tag team wrestling itself adds a lot to the business. There are plenty of innovative matches and legendary teams. You have the work like that the Dudleys, Hardys, Edge and Christian did with their famous TLC2 match. Outside the WWF, you had guys like Booker T and Stevie Ray of the Harlem Heat, killing it in the Southeast for WCW. In your opinions, what makes a good tag team?
Cohesiveness.
Yeah.
Presentation.
Yep. You got it.
Yeah, that's really, that's really what it
work
is.
Together and they're smooth. I'm all about it.
You don't have, and it doesn't have to be crazy, flashy stuff. You just got to know what you're doing.
Just be there for each other.
Yeah.
That's tag team wrestling. You're a team. You're in there a team. You go out a team. No solo players here.
And tag team wrestling, I feel like, is very underrated. You got teams killing it right now in AEW, WWE, independent, like you guys' matches. You guys have great chemistry from the match that I seen when I was at a show a couple weeks ago, and you're the champs, so that does say something. I gotta ask, are you? I'm not sure if I still have this match correct, but are you guys defending the titles tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Who are you defending it against?
Well, it is against the New Gore Order, but management has informed us that Devin Blaze cannot make it. So right now, what we're doing is a little up in the air, and we'll probably find out a little later what we're doing.
I just have 3 quick rapid-fire questions that I'm asking every wrestler here as an icebreaker. What's your guys' favorite match of all time?
I am a terrible wrestling fan. I have a wrestling gap the size of Texas. And some of the new stuff, God.
I'm going to go with Roddy Piper versus Goldust in the Hollywood Backlot Brawl of WrestleMania 12 because I like the story that they told, and I like the impromptu, O.J. Simpson chase in the middle of it. I think that's kind of wild, and it ended off with a bang. So I'm a huge Roddy Piper fan. That was one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, he was an amazing performer, definitely. I actually really enjoyed that match too. I watched it recently on Peacock on the network.
Yeah, WrestleMania 12 is my favorite WrestleMania.
Very underrated too, because you had other shows after 14, 15, 17.
Fan that I am. You really
I
are.
watched a lot of it growing up. Every week. It didn't matter. What it was. Dude, during the Monday Night Wars, I would watch WCW for that first hour, and then I was switching back and forth during commercial breaks, just to be consistently entertained by wrestling.
I always taped it because I had to go to bed.
Week.
That was an awesome time to be a wrestling fan. It was a little before my time, but now I guess I'm kind of seeing my version of that.
Peak Attitude Era.
Yeah, my favorite era is the early to late 90s stuff. 94, 95, 96 WWF is probably some of the best wrestling for me personally because I like the characters. the characters are kind of where it's at, and the characters are what pulled me into independent wrestling to begin with, because everybody's kind of got their own thing going for them. I think that's cool.
I got back into watching wrestling. DDP and Raven were feuding for the United States title is about when that was the beginning of high school for me.
Well, that was a good time for WCW though.
Yeah, DDP, the original People's Champ. Most people don't realize that was before The Rock started doing the eyebrows and all that and the sunglasses.
Doing yoga.
Hey, I mean,
it helps.
It does. It certainly does. Especially, if people get injured, you gotta heal your body.
My hip is hurting right now.
Oh man, I do gotta ask, if you could pick one wrestler or tag team, past or present, to work with, who would it be?
I've never really thought of this before.
No.
I would like to work with the Rock and Roll Express.
I mean, we
Because
probably could
they're
do that
still
now.
Around,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
that's
still
yeah.
wrestling.
I think that would be really cool.
I mean, in their prime would have been fun.
Oh, of course.
They'd whoop our
but
asses, and that'd be a great
I
old
think that
time.
would be just as fun too. I think it would just be a cool experience.
They're still killing it in the ring, and they're like in their
Didn't one
70s
of them
too,
hit
right?
A Canadian destroyer.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
My hip hurts thinking of that.
that's amazing. I want to take it.
My final question takes a little bit step away from the ring. Do you have any hobbies?
I don't. Gaming. I don't even really know.
I like to draw. I do a lot of our graphic stuff, post production. I do a lot of video editing. I also like the game here and there.
Like video editing and gaming. That's kind of like.
It's kind of like the newish now. Yeah, with other streaming and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much with that.
Was that a hipster response? I was doing it before. It was cool, kind of.
I don't know. I mean, it
Or whatever
sounds
these
like
kids
fun
say.
to me. But I grew up in that kind of era,
Very good hobbies to have. Sean and Tom, I want to thank you so much both for giving me your time. I really appreciate it.